fellow weirdos. I'm Andy Negative, and today we're looking at 10 of my favorite home recording hacks. Alright weirdos, before we jump in, please take a second to subscribe to the channel for all kinds of guitar and music related stuff. These are 10 home recording studio hacks that I like. I'm sure there's other cool ones out there. These are just ones that I kind of mostly use for the most part, and I definitely didn't just steal these from other people on the internet. That'd be bad. I actually do use a bunch of these, so hopefully you find at least one of them helpful. If you use them, awesome, and if you don't, well then, why even watching this? Whatever, let's just get to it. Number 1, turn off your phone. Okay, this is not really a hack. So, see, my phone's buzzing, I should have just done it myself. You turn off your phone. Your phone is incredibly distracting. You don't need it in your studio with you. There's so many distractions. Social media, Instagram, which is social media, I guess. Just turn off your damn phone. There's no place for it in the studio. You can put it on do not disturb, so if you get an important phone call or whatever, that'll still come through. I'm not saying that you should just ignore the world entirely, but when you get into the flow state when you're working on stuff, if your phone's going off, it's just gonna distract you and it's just gonna make things more complicated than they need to be, and it's gonna slow you down and it's gonna ruin your workflow. You could check your phone when you're done. The memes will still be there. I promise. The memes will still be there when you're done. So please just turn off your phone and get to work. Yeah. Number 2, poor man's pop filter. I love this one. So obviously there's you can make a pop filter out of pantyhose and wrap it around a coat hanger, but who's got a pantyhose laying around that they can just destroy? Who has a coat hanger? I don't have a coat hanger. You know, these people with their coat hangers and their pantyhose. Well, what if you don't have those? Well, I got one for you. All you're gonna need is a pencil. That's right. If you just tape a pencil over the capsule directly up and down, that will work to break up the plosions and the harsh consonants as they go to reach the capsule. It'll spread them off so that you basically have a pop filter without having to buy a pop filter. I've used this when doing a podcast before because I only had one pop filter but 2 people that needed microphones, and it works perfectly fine. There's nothing wrong with this, but you're just gonna get tape gunk on your microphone, so be aware of that. Yeah, if you don't have a pop filter and you don't have pantyhose laying around, you can just use a pencil. It works perfectly fine. A DIY SM57. If you have an SM58 laying around and you want to make it more directional, like an SM57, which is an instrument microphone, all you have to do is just take the grill off of the 58, take a small amount of tape, and tape around the vents. This will make it so that the vibrating air molecules approach the capsule in a more directional manner, which means that this microphone now becomes better for recording more direct sources like instruments, like if you put it up against a guitar cabinet, as opposed to when it's in 58 mode. Obviously it's not exactly a 57, but it's more like if you're stuck and you only have one and you need to record guitars and vocals and all you have is a 58, you can kind of use this to make the microphone a little more versatile, meaning that you have to spend less money and you don't need more microphones. So that's pretty useful, I guess. Always have a mic set up. You should always have at least one microphone set up in your studio space, ready to go at all times. That could be a little microphone on your desk. It could be a microphone that you have on a stand stashed away somewhere that's plugged in, but you should always have a microphone ready to go. You never know when a weird idea is gonna hit you and you need to record it quickly so you don't forget it, or when a weird sound is gonna happen just in life that you want to get. Trying to recreate it might not be a viable option. There's lots of reasons to have a microphone set up. The thing is though, if you're gonna leave a microphone set up all the time, and here's actually kind of the hack, not having the microphone set up all the time, because you just should do that. The hack is that you need to cover that microphone, because if you just leave it out in the world completely uncovered, it's gonna get dust particles building up on the capsule over time, and that's bad for the microphone. And all you need to do is literally just put something over top of it. If it's a condenser microphone that you purchased, there's a good chance that it came with a small case, a small zipper case, and you can just set that over top of your microphone. That's what I do. I have a little condenser set up, and then I just put the case over top of it when I'm not using it. But if you don't have a case for the microphone that you're using, it didn't come with one, you lost it, you just can't find it, whatever, you could just use a plastic bag, honestly, just like a Ziploc bag of some sort. You could just set it over top. You want to keep your microphone covered from dust, because dust is the enemy. Dust is the enemy. DIY microphone. Don't have a microphone kicking around and need to record vocals or, things that make sound in an analog environment, like the air around you. Well, that's okay. Do you have a pair of headphones? I bet you do. Did you know that if you just plug a pair of headphones into a microphone input, it becomes a microphone? Crazy, right? That's some conspiracy theory level shit right there. Yeah, so a microphone and a pair of headphones are basically the same thing. It's just that you plug one into an input and one into an output. And if you switch them, I don't know if you can plug a microphone into an output and it would make noise. Oh, that might not be okay. Anyway, speakers basically work as microphones if you plug them into an output. The Beastie Boys recorded their entire first album this way because they couldn't be arsed to get microphones, or they couldn't afford microphones. I don't really know. I wasn't friends with the Beastie Boys back when they made their first record. But if you need a microphone and you don't have one and you got a pair of headphones handy, just plug it in. It works. You could just, there's your microphone right there. You just do it. Do it! Have you ever tried using headphones as a microphone? Let me know down in the comments if it worked and if it sounded any good, or if what. Okay, let's just keep going. Mixing in an untreated room. This isn't so much of a hack as more of just kind of like an approach, but frequently if you're recording in your home studio, there's a pretty good chance that you have an untreated room. I record in an untreated room. I mix in an untreated room. I do everything. It's a living room. It's just a living room. You can hear it. It doesn't sound that great. But you know what? You got to work with what you got. Sometimes you don't have the option of having a treated room. So my major suggestion is that what you should do is just listen to lots of your favorite records on your speakers in your room. Because once you start to hear what things you like sound like in that room, you'll have an idea of how to approach mixing your own music against that. So yeah, use reference tracks, always good, because that's going to give you an idea of what things sound like in your room, so you can kind of try to match that vibe. I'd also suggest that you mix at low volumes. I do this all the time, and this way you get a couple benefits. One, you're going to save your ears from ear fatigue by blasting them with loud volume. Honestly, it's not good for you in the long term. It doesn't make your mixes better by cranking them up to super loud volumes. You're not feeling the music better. That's crazy. You're just going to do hearing damage to yourself over the long term, and that means you won't be able to keep making music. And you don't want to be deaf, because that's kind of the thing that you need to be able to do music, is hear, because you're not Beethoven. And he didn't mix tracks, man. He just wrote music on paper. He's not in the studio mixing it up. No. Beethoven was, okay. Anyway, Chris Lord Alge, he mixes at low volumes. He said so in interviews. He didn't used to, but the 80s were a crazy time. I guess he mixes at super low volumes so that he can protect his ears, and it gives a better idea of what the mix sounds like overall. And then, turn it up kind of at the end of the mixing stage just to double check some things, but you don't need to be blasting your ears. So you mix at low volumes, seriously. And then check your mixes on a variety of sources. You've got your mixing speakers, that's great. You probably have like some earbud that's kicking around. You should check your mixes on your earbuds. If you've got some shitty computer speakers, check them on that. Check them on your little laptop speakers. I shouldn't even have this with me because it's because of the first one, but check your mixes on your phone, because those little speakers are going to give you an idea. If you've got like a Google Home or something like that, you check them out on those. Like, just as many different sources as you can, because that's going to show you how your mix translates to different sources and different speakers, and it'll give you a better idea on how to balance it, because again, you're probably mixing in an untreated room. But people are probably also listening in an untreated room, so, I guess we're just trying to do the best that we can with what we got. I don't know. Decouple your monitors. If you have monitors in your studio and they're just sitting on the desk, when they vibrate, they're gonna vibrate your desk, which is gonna vibrate your floor, which is gonna vibrate your walls, which is gonna change the sound of everything that's happening. Crazy, right? Vibration. Everything is vibrating. Everything is vibrating. All right, but seriously, what you need to do is decouple your speakers, because the vibrations will affect the sound of everything. It'll change what you're hearing. It'll change what other people are hearing. You can actually go purchase professional decouplers from places like Sweetwater or whatever, or you could just go to the dollar store and get some like foam and put it underneath your speakers, between the speaker stand and the desk or the shelf that you have them on. And like what you could do in my case is you could just get your brother to do it for you so that you don't even have to worry about it. If you have a brother, I would say that's probably the best option, is just get them to do it for you. But hey, you should probably call your brother. Call your brother and ask him to make decouplers for you. Mark the ends of your cables. So this seems pretty obvious, right? You've got a ton of cables and they're all going to random different places, and some of them are plugged in all the time and some of them are not plugged in all the time. And then you realize that every single cable looks the exact same because they're just black cables with leads on them. And then you forget what's plugged into what lead goes where, and which one is going to the delay effect and which one is to plug the guitar directly in, and it's so very confusing. And you should just put labels on the ends of all your cables, because then you'll be able to tell, oh, that's what that cable does. It's supposed to plug in to the kitchen sink. Wonderful, good. Now I know how to plug into the kitchen sink cable as opposed to accidentally plugging into the distortion channel. So you should probably put some labels. It'll save you a lot of time, honestly, and a lot of headache. And if you're forgetful like me, it's super helpful. DIY snake. If your recording interface, like mine, is pressed up against a wall and the inputs are on the back, they can be kind of a pain to get to. And if you're moving mics around and you're setting things up and tearing things down, and you got to reach in behind there and you got to move things around, you're constantly like totally ruining your studio and it's a total disaster. You could just build a small snake. Now this is pretty easy to do. You can just go get a few short XLR cables, little like 5-foot XLR cables, and just plug them in and then tape them together and just set them on the front, and then you've got a little snake. Or you could literally just buy the cables and some leads, and it ends up probably being even a little cheaper, and you could just make it yourself. But remember, you need to label the ends of the snake so that you know which input goes to where. But if you're like me, you'll also just get your brother to do it for you, and then you don't even have to worry about it. So, you know, again, call him and ask him if he'll do it for you. And if you don't have a brother, I mean, like, I'm sure that they sell brothers on Amazon, right? You could just buy one, or you could buy a snake, I guess, while you're at it. DIY reverb. Don't have a decent reverb plugin because you're using a free DAW and the reverb plugin is crap and sounds like absolute hot garbage, which is it's a very real problem that we all experience. Well, that's okay. Just set up a microphone in your bathroom and have the vocalist stand outside the door, or put the guitar amp just outside the door and just record both. You've got a free reverb. You could put the sound source in the bathroom as well and just close mic it, but depending on what the sound source is and how loud it is, you're gonna get some of the room resonating into the direct signal. So it really depends on how clean you want the sound, but you know, it's definitely an option. And I know for a fact that you have a bathroom, and if you don't have a bathroom, then maybe you should be reconsidering why you're watching DIY recording hacks and why you don't have a bathroom. I'm pretty sure that's illegal. I actually have to go to the bathroom. I'll be right back. And there's a bonus one, always, because and there's a bonus one because that's what I do. Vocal sound treatment, so a little extra one for you. There are these fantastic things that they sell where you basically clip a small amount of foam to the back of your microphone stand. You see people using them all the time in all their home studio videos. They're junk. They are trash. They are useless. Don't buy one. It is a waste of your money. So here's the thing. When you are making sound, like you're singing, you're pushing air molecules forward and it's making vibrations. And it's going past the microphone, some of it's going into the capsule, and then it's going to the wall behind it, and then it's bouncing back. Now the capsule is pointed towards the sound source. So you're not getting the reverberations coming back off the wall. What happens is they bounce off the wall behind you and then come back. And by this point, they've traveled pretty far and have changed drastically in sound because the wavelengths have shortened. So you have the potential to cause phasing, all sorts of weird reflections that don't sound good. Instead of spending your money buying some thing that is frankly useless because it doesn't help with the bounce back reflections that are coming from behind you, all you need to do is take a microphone stand, set it up, and drape a heavy blanket over it and just put it behind the vocalist. Whether that's you or it's somebody else, just put up a blanket behind them, and that will honestly make a huge difference and will cost you $0 because I'm sure you have a blanket right? Right? And if you don't even have an extra microphone stand, you just like pin it to the ceiling or whatever. Just like have the person sit on the floor so you can drape it over a chair. Honestly, anything will do better than spending your money on one of those stupid behind the microphone things. I get it, they look cool. They really do. But in the long term, they're utterly useless. I might have just made some enemies right there. And that's it. That's all my home recording hacks for today. Are you going to use any of these hacks? Let me know down below. Or if you think they're all dumb, then you can also tell me that. If you found this video insightful, informative, or at least like even just a little bit entertaining, please obliterate that like button. And if you didn't, you can just like dislike it. That's also fine. 2, if you haven't yet, please subscribe to the channel. It really helps me out because interactions make the channel grow, which means it's something you're doing for me. But appreciate it because that means I can keep making content. And I would like to take 1 minute to say thank you to the Weirdo Cult. My community is super friggin' awesome. I love them so much. They're so rad. They help me be able to continue to make content, which is basically the thing I want to do. And so I'm doing it, but the fact that there's people trying to help me out, it just makes it so much more fun to want to do it. If you want to support me in my creative endeavors further, please consider joining the Weirdo Cult over on Patreon. The community gets early access to all of my content, exclusive music that you can't get anywhere else, and they have their names included at the end of all my videos, which you'll see immediately following this. I'm Andy Negative, and I'll see you guys on the other side. Bye! If you're seeing this, the video is now at its end, and if you could just do me one extra favor, I just released my very first novel that I'm very, very proud of. It's based off of my album SOS, and if you could go to Amazon and you could go purchase a copy and read it and maybe leave a review, it'd honestly mean the world to me. Please go do that if you want to, and if not, don't. Thank you.